I'm tired. Every single day, 10 hours a day, every single time. So hopefully I'm not too groggy for this video because life literally worked 80 hours in 8 days. I finally made it. I have tomorrow off. Free comic Wednesday. Or, see, like I said, tired. Comic book day, I have off tomorrow, so excited about that. What's up, HME3 Comics? Thanks for coming in, man. Appreciate it. So with that being said, obviously working 80 hours in 8 days. Haven't had time to read too many books, so made it to my local shop today, luckily. So at least I have some books to show today, and pretty much tomorrow I'm just going to flat out probably just spend the next 24 hours just trying to read, catch up on a few things. That way next time I have something to talk about. And then this Friday I'll have something to talk about. So kind of, I guess, way segueing into that, like Chad likes to say from the Comic Corp. We should be going live Friday night, 10 p.m. on a new Comic Corp channel. I won't get into the whole details on what happened to reviews on the Batcaves channel. I think most everybody who watches my channel probably knows what's happened at this point, but nonetheless, I have left the link in the description below for the new Comic Corp channel. So it looks like as of right now, I'll probably call Chad tonight just to iron out some details, just to make sure everything's going, kind of the same it has been on the new channel. Subscribe to Comic Corp, so that way you guys are completely updated with what's going on with the Comic Corp and all that good stuff. Once again, link should be below. I put it in right before I started going live here. Let's see who's in the chat. Looks like Comics with Bueller. Speaking of the Comic Corp, there's Comics with Bueller. Hopefully he'll be continuing to be with the core with us on Friday nights. What's up, man? And Airborne Sapper Comic Fan. He says, what's up? Hey, how's it going, man? Nonetheless, I did get some pickups this week, so I'll go ahead and start showing them. So I did one an eBay lot that shipped last week. Probably about, I think, $40 shipped for this stuff, so not too bad. Mainly drawn to the Silver Age Neil Adams stuff as usual. So I got Batman 403. So once again, I see Silver Age Neil Adams and Bronze Age Neil Adams, I guess I should say, since it's a 15 center. I usually go for it if it's pretty affordable. So definitely had to get some Neil Adams stuff. What's up, Roman Curtis? How's it going, man? Next up, and I apologize, I haven't had a chance to even put these in Mylar yet, even though they've been sitting next to me for reading copies for a few days. I got issue 409. So once again, I gotta get these Bronze Age Neil Adams books. Absolutely love these covers, and of course, the art inside's great too. Next up, Detective Comics 410. Once again, another cool cover from the 70s. Got 415. Looks like Batman's having a bad day there once again. So there's that. And the condition on these, I mean, they're mid-grade, but they're not too bad. I've bought much worse off eBay in terms of Bronze Age Batman, but like I said, I'm just kind of addicted to buying these older Batmans for affordable prices. So there's Batman 230. So definitely like getting these around the 230s in the Batman run, especially. I think since I got that first Ra's al Ghul last year, I definitely been looking to complete like a lot of the 200s for the Batman run. So there's those. And then also throwing in that lot that was $40 total. We got some Nightfall Batmans too. So I got Batman 498, cool Kelly Jones cover with Bane and Catwoman. So there's that. That was pretty cool. Don't have a lot of Nightfall for some reason. As a kid, I collected the Death Superman stuff, and just kind of around that time there was a whole stuff going on Batman. I kind of missed out on a lot of it just because I didn't really like the new look of the Batman that Azrael eventually had. So I just passed on that stuff because it was a time like every main DC hero was going through some sort of change. So there's 499, and then there's a double shot of 500. So there's the newsstand. Like I said, I was not a big fan of that Batman costume. It just looked, it looked different, obviously, but just didn't care for it that much when I was a kid. So didn't pick up a lot of the Nightfall. So don't have this one. The only one I did have out of this entire lot, I think I actually got signed. I might have even got Joe Quesada to sign it. I got Batman 500. This is the 90s a fight, if you will, version of it. Got the nice die cast cover, so you fold it out, and I think it's got like the Azrael Batman on the backside. So got that. Who else we got coming in? Looks like Metarog's come in, so thank you, Metarog, for joining us. If you guys haven't seen what's going on Bub's Comics channel, they have like the No Faces chat going on. I think they usually go live Mondays about this time, and Metarog's a part of that show, so they've got a really good show. Hopefully I'll be able to catch it live one of these days. I've been working like every single Monday since they started their live show on the Bub's Comics channel, but it's a very fun and awesome, informative show. You guys should check that out for sure. Looks like Rebel Comics is back, so LP has brought back Rebel Comics, so I'll definitely be subbing him up because I don't think I've subbed up the new Rebel Comics handle, so I'll do that after the video, bud. Cool to see Rebel Comics back in a chat. Hopefully he has the ability to go live again and all that good stuff. Miss Hustle's back, so what's up, Miss Hustle? Hopefully everything's going better for you. I know you had a rough week last week, Miss Hustle, so shout outs to her boyfriend going through some rough times right now. I won't get too much into it, but thoughts, prayers, all that good stuff with you guys, of course. Poor Man's Comics, how's it going, man? Show me some GCS JG Jones. It's up there somewhere. I still haven't put it back on the wall since I put it in my honor, so I still need to do that. All right, so back to the books. I actually made it to my local shop today. Like I said, working 80 hours in 8 days. Didn't get a chance to get my pulls last week, so I had to be one of those weird people. I went to a comic shop on a Tuesday. I was like one of 2 people in there the whole time. But the main reason I wanted to race to my store on a Tuesday, I could have just waited till tomorrow to get my stuff. Once again, I apologize. No bags and boards yet. My shop doesn't do that. They were having a subscriber-only sale, so since I made a pull list, I am now a subscriber in their store, so they have these like email-only sales that like people like me will only get. So their dollar bins were actually 5 books for $1. So I was like, yeah, I gotta do some digging, even if it's I gotta go in the last hour they're open. So naturally, when things are 5 for $1, I end up with a stack like this. So I got this whole stack for $4. So I got a pretty good deal here. So we'll get into this stack real quick. So I got G.I. Joe 52. It's pretty beat up, but I've been loving some bronze and copper age G.I. Joe lately. Like my local shop has gotten in this huge haul lately. But starting about 6 months ago, I probably have bought G.I. Joes 1 through about 50 from them. And I kind of cut it off at 50 just because, like I said, these aren't the greatest copies in the run. I'm mainly getting them all as reader copies because I want to read the whole run eventually. But for 20 cents, you don't pass it up. Then next up, this is a double for me, but it actually might be an upgrade. For being in a 20-cent bin, it's really good quality condition. This is G.I. Joe 63, really cool Mike Zeck cover. Probably his best cover in this run, in my opinion. Love some Mike Zeck on these covers. So cool G.I. Joe and Scarlet cover there. But I was surprised to see these other G.I. Joes in the run. Like last week, if you guys watched my live stream last week, I got a pretty solid deal on some upper 100s G.I. Joes. So usually, like when you're buying G.I. Joes, once you get 100 and up, they're a little difficult to find. Like I barely ever, if ever, see them in the wild. So I actually got a little bit of a run post 100. So I got this awesome Cobra Commander cover for issue 100. I was actually thinking about just buying this for a few bucks the other day because I was like, you just don't see it at all that much. So like I said, decent quality copy for being in a unbagged, quarter 50-cent dollar bin. So like I said, they had a little bit of run. So there's issue 101. And then it actually does skip to 111. So Lee Weeks cover there. A lot of awesome action going on with Snake Eyes and Scarlet. 113. An Andy Kubert cover for 114. I didn't even really realize he ever did work on G.I. Joe. That's pretty awesome. So I love Andy Kubert. So that was pretty awesome there. 115. Number 119. Well, apparently I'm bidding on something on eBay. There's issue 120, cool Baroness and Destro cover. If you guys read the Image G.I. Joe that came out in the early 2000s, like Baroness and Destro had a really cool like early run in that. It's like the one with the J. Scott Campbell covers. And then I just went ahead and got some Justice Societies. One day I'll read all of Jeff John's Justice Society run. But for now, I got these covers because you don't pass up 20-cent Alex Ross covers. So there's the cover to JSA number 12 is like the second part of the Jeff Johns run after his initial JSA run. Got an issue 14. And I do at least want to read this part of the run just because it has Kingdom Come Superman featured in it. And so like love Kingdom Come. There's 15. Got from the first part of the run, issue 74, cool Hawkman and Hawkwoman cover. So I had to get that. And then I think I had this one, sold it, and then I got it back for 20 cents. So got JSA 72, the cool Hourman Hourglass cover. Savage Dragon number 1. I have the other version of Savage Dragon number 1, but I didn't have this one. So I kind of needed a 20th comic. So I'm like, yeah, why not? Savage Dragon, it's Eric Larson. So I thought that was pretty awesome. It gets super random from here just because I was kind of just picking and choosing at that point. Wolverine 81. Don't think I had this one. I got a lot of the later Wolverine run. I think this one, yeah, it has like some cool cards and stuff in it too. So luckily no kid from the 90s ripped these like inserts out and stuff like that. So once I felt those inserts in there, I'm like, yeah, why not get that? Got a Teen Titans 15, The Death of the Family. This is actually a newsstand variant. You don't see these newsstand variants from Death of the Family laying around too much. I didn't even know Teen Titans had a newsstand variant. But usually, like if you guys are familiar with Death of the Family, it has like that die cast like Joker face cover that covers up like pretty much the whole cover from Greg Capullo. And then you unfold it, and obviously you get the character's face who's in the book. So the newsstands did not come with that die cast thing. So I thought that was pretty cool to get. It was like 20 cents. Why not? Even though I'm not a fan at all of the new 52 Teen Titans. At least toward Death of the Family, it was halfway interesting. I just kind of plucked this out. It's a Batman Incorporated number 8, the one where Damian Wayne dies, but it's like the combo digital pack cover. So once again, don't see a ton of these digital pack combo whatchamacallits out in the wild either. So decided to get that. And then the last one, I don't know if there's anything significant at all if this book is the beginning of the run or if it's at the end of his run. Yeah, I think it's just the end of the other's run from Aquaman. But just probably one of Ivan Rice's best covers on Aquaman. So Aquaman number 13. So just a killer cover from Ivan Rice right there. So thought that was cool. All right, I missed a lot of the chat. I apologize. Let me backtrack here to see what everyone's saying. Airborne Cyber Fan says, big fan of Sketchbook. Hopefully one day my book will be as good as yours. Thanks, man. That's very much appreciated. Like I said, this is my baby right here. I might just flip through some of this if people are still around by the time I get done. I got a big stack of stuff to show right here too, just because I didn't read much this week. So I just start plucking stuff from my hardcover wall, just kind of talk about and show. So I at least have something to talk about that I've actually read. But maybe toward the end of the video, we'll start flipping through this a little bit. We'll see how everybody's feeling. Poor man is saying hi to everybody. Hi. How's it going, guys? Let's see. Poor man's comments. I'm looking for a G.I. Joe 111 in $8 bin. Still no luck. Yeah, G.I. Joe love. I'm 111. I thought that was cool to find. So, yeah, G.I. Joes, they keep popping up in dollar bins all the time. So keep digging. You'll find them eventually. Rebel Comics says there are a few Scarlet AJ Cover Girl Baroness. But what you got to remember, G.I. Joe was a toy for boys. Yep, it was definitely the ultimate boys toy along with He-Man in the 80s. So that was a really good 1-2 punch. So let's see. I know someone else had to enjoy this. Yeah, Betterog says great deal for $4. Thank you. Yeah, definitely. I could have just stayed in there all day, but the guy closed right at 5. I probably didn't even roll in until about 4:15, 4:30. So I didn't want to take up too much of his time because he is trying to get ready for new comic book day, like most of the other retailers out there, I'm sure, tonight. So usually they start putting in all the work 5 o'clock after. So I didn't want to stay and bother him for too long, and the sell ended today. So got what I could, obviously, out of it. I definitely wasn't gonna You says you should have that newsstand in a bag and board. Oh, believe me, Rebel. Tonight we're gonna be bagging and boarding and all that good stuff. PMC says these cartoons. If we're going to start watching He-Man and the Master Universe, is where it's at. One day, one day I'll get into He-Man. That was just slightly before my time. I think I've said this on this channel in the past. Like my brother had a lot of the He-Man figures, but by the time I was collecting toys about that age, it was all about Ninja Turtles. So Ninja Turtles kind of just took over, and then pretty much anything I had from him were all the GI Joes. So I don't know where all the it's kind of like, you know how when you're kids, these things kind of just disappear and things get thrown away and destroyed and broken. Somehow the He-Mans all kind of I think we had a Castle Grayskull at least that made it through. But in terms of like all the He-Man figures, they were all like probably broken and smashed and parts missing. So luckily the GI Joes were small and we treasured them for whatever reason. So definitely like we didn't lose Snake Eyes. Let's just say that. Let's see. Oh, he's looking for the Adam Hughes version of that one. Okay, that makes sense. That's a good cover too. I like that Adam Hughes Baroness cover. Bag and board and talk to me when I go live. Oh, absolutely, man. That's the way I like to do things sometimes. I'll just turn another YouTuber on as I bag and board. So, yeah, that sounds like a good plan, Rebel. Netflix is making a He-Man documentary. Oh, by the way, what's up, TJ Watson? Thanks for making it, man. That sounds cool. All right, back to the book. So I did get 3 pickups from last week. Once again, this will be my reading pile as I finish up tonight, as I, of course, transition to bag and boarding like LP just said. So what I'm probably most look forward to read this, or last week, I should say, Buffy the Vampire Slayer #2. I guess Buffy the Reckoning is what they're calling it, season 45. Or season 12, I guess, somehow at this point. But this is a really cool issue 1. I immediately had to add this to my pull list. Just Buffy on Infinite Earths, I guess, is what I want to call it. So pretty much any Whedon Buffyverse character they're throwing at the wall here. So they got a pretty cool cast. You got Buffy, Angel, Giles, Frey, and Illyria on the cover. So right there, that's a pretty solid Buffy team if there ever was one. So really looking forward to reading that. The first issue was a lot of fun. Next up, I got Justice League #5. This is kind of like the in-between issue. I guess they're getting ready to, like, every 5 issues, so like I guess issues 5, 10, and 15 will be a villains issue. So actually James Tynion wrote this issue, so I look forward to seeing a good Legion of Doom issue, because when I read issue 1, I was more interested to see what was going on with the Legion of Doom and I guess the Justice League, since it was, I mean, an old school team basically. So looking forward to this one as well. And then the last one, new book I got, was Leviathan #1. John Layman, who did Chew, wrote this one. So definitely had to get his issue 1, like I did Rob Gilroy's issue 1 with Farmhands. So definitely like these guys' work. I'll definitely be following both of their works. Let's see what we got going on here. Miss Hustle says, "And we're getting the Buffy. I should watch that show." Oh, absolutely. It's probably my favorite show of all time. It's got something for everybody in my head. Jake Dixon joins us. How's it going, Jake? He says, "Egghead." Okay. All right. Poor Man's Comics Buffy show is great. The WB had a killer lineup back in the day. Yeah, it's kind of one of those things. As long as you can get past all the old cheesy special effects, they got some good watches. Like I said, Charmed was all right, but I was all about Buffy back in the day, and Angel, of course, being the spinoff. Then there's actually, you know what? An underrated show. It kind of blends with the CW stuff. Is Veronica Mars. Veronica Mars was phenomenal too, in that little CW early on era, if you will. So let's see. Miss Hustle says Charms is supposed to have a spinoff. So pumped. I didn't know if that started yet or not. I'd be curious to watch an episode of that, just to see what Charmed would be like now. If it'd be like a sequel series, which I think they're thinking about doing the same thing for Buffy. Like, a lot of people thought they were going to do a remake of Buffy, but I think it's supposed to be some sort of sequel or something. But Joss Whedon's involved, so we'll see what happens. I'd probably at least give it a chance, but I don't think they're going to be able to capture the magic of the original. But I did have one more local pickup before I get into my little hardcover showcase here, if you will. I would have been a dummy to pass this up. I don't even know entirely what this is. I'm sure I see Metarogs in the chat. He'll probably chime in with some thoughts here on what this book is. So this is a Batman Limited Collector's Edition. It says C51, so I think this is, I guess I got to hold it back here. I just thought it was a killer Neil Adams Ra's al Ghul cover. I saw this in the shop. It wasn't even on the wall. It was like with like some just, you know, a little higher price books. Got this for $10. I was like, for $10, that's mine all day. So as I saw it, I like ran over there and had to pick it up. Yeah, it's a treasury book, I believe that's what they call them. So I think this is like treasury number C51. I don't have any of these at all. I've never really seen them in the wild ever, or been able to collect them or research them at all. But I saw this cover and I'm like, oh man, yeah, I gotta have that. So thought this was really cool for $10. So I had to get it. I was like, that's gonna be my thumbnail today. So there we go. I'll probably be flipping through this to see what this is like. So yeah, thanks, Metarog. So nice treasury edition, good deal for $10. Yeah, that's what I thought too. Just funny considering some of the things on the wall are like $20, $40, $60. And then this was like sitting in the other corner of the shop for $10. I mean, even though albeit it's not like a mint condition or anything, like I said, I just kind of noticed on my finger there's a little bit of a bend. And obviously the spine's all ticked up because it's a treasury edition. It was just like flopping along, carrying it to my car. But yeah, this is also for my local shop. So yeah, happy to have this. This is super cool. I'm going to put that over there. Actually, I need to clear up some room for these hardcovers, because today I was like, well, if nothing else, I was like, why haven't I showed on my channel that I have in this room that I really haven't talked about too much, even in my tour video. I was like, I really haven't had a chance to talk about hardcovers. I got like a shelf and a half of hardcovers, just solid. I went through a collecting phase where I did nothing but hardcovers for a minute, because I just like taking it to cons to get signed. It seems like creators like talking about and signing hardcovers more than just regular issues, because I think in some of their minds it's like, well, that's a true fan more than it is like a speculator or collector. At least that's what it felt like in my head. So I was just like, yeah, why not get some hardcovers? I still collect them, just not as often as I used to, just because carrying these things around, they're not light. So the first one I'll highlight, the JLA Avengers Special Edition, I think it's called. But this is a 4-issue miniseries in the early 2000s from Kurt Busiek and George Perez. And they put the cover on the front. This is the one that gave George Perez tendonitis. Like when I met him at Wizard World, Texas, when I was visiting my brother when he lived in Texas, Perez actually had like a brace on his hand, but he was still signing for his fans. So that's like, as soon as I met Perez for the first time, I'm like, man, this guy is my favorite artist. So like, he was super nice. He still didn't even limit signatures when he had tendonitis from drawing this cover. But I think, you know, a lot of people have their favorite covers of all time. This is up there for me, just in terms of like, there's like, just look at the amount of DC and Marvel characters and the detail he put in each and every one of them. So if you guys wanted the single issue of this, it's JLA Avengers issue 3, I believe, is the issue number that he does his cover on. But yeah, this edition is pretty cool, just because you have like, it's more or less like an absolute version of that run. So like, you have the regular run here. So this covers the 4 issues, which I believe I got this at least signed by Perez. Yeah, I actually got a George Perez signature in this one. Unfortunately, I haven't seen Kurt Busiek since 2003. If he goes to a con, I'm going to haul this around. So really cool version of this hardcover. This is an excellent version of this. I don't know if they still have this available anywhere. But dang, if you guys wanted to read this and see it, get this if you can, because it's a killer version of it. It still smells like fresh paint, actually, all this time later. And then they had a compendium that came with it too. So you get a separate hardcover that's just a compendium of it. I was like, hey, why not? Have him sign that too. So I had George Perez sign the compendium. This one kind of just goes through, you know, it talks about like the original concept in 1983 they had for JLA Avengers. Because I mean, this thing, I mean, when you have a crossover like this, it took decades for them to finally get this greenlit. So they have like the original version. There's even like a Marvel Age article on the original creation and what went wrong. So there's a lot of cool stuff in this, jam-packed in this compendium. So I kind of wish they released more things like this. I don't know if DC and or Marvel put this out, and that's why we got kind of a unique hardcover version. But I thought this is super cool. I'd wish they would do more stuff like this. So because I know sometimes they do compendiums, are always like sold separately and that stuff. So thought this is really awesome. So kind of matches what DC does with their absolutes today, which I actually didn't grab any. I'll do an absolute video sometime down the line too. But I can't cord this up right now without damaging it, so I'm just gonna set it here. Looks like Joker M21 has joined us. Hey, what's up, Joker? I think the New York Warriors are having an auction Saturday at 10 p.m. I might actually be able to make an auction this weekend, so look forward to that. I believe that's Joker can correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, but I think their auction is 10 p.m. Saturday, so you get some killer deals from those guys when you hop in their auction. Looks like Paul, Midwest Comic Man, joined us. What's up, Paul? Yeah, he says this Saturday at 10 p.m. Joker does. So yeah, definitely check out the Warriors channel and sub them up. Get some good auction deals there. All right, so the next one is got this one off Kickstarter. I don't know if anyone else has heard of this one. I've never really seen anyone talk about it or anything. But it's called In the Dark. It's a horror anthology. And I believe actually IDW ended up publishing this. So as you can see, it's a pretty dang tall book. So this actually has some pretty cool creators behind it. I think, yeah, Rachel Deering's the one who put this together and created a Kickstarter and made this all possible. But I mean, you've got names in this like Colin Bunn, Justin Jordan, Tim Seeley, Tom Taylor, James Tynan worked on this. Dwayne Stwerzinski worked on this. He did some cool Marvel work in the mid-2000s. Let's see, Ed Brisson, he does a lot of Marvel stuff now. Scott Snyder and Nate Powell have a segment in this. It's pretty cool. Marguerite Bennett worked on this a little bit too. She has a segment in it. The person who did Shirtless Bear Fighter has a segment in it. So yeah, this is, if you guys see this like floating around on Amazon for a reasonable price, it's a pretty cool pickup. And as you can see, like, oh, camera, come on, you're killing me. There we go. As you can see, there's like a normal comic and then that. So it's a pretty big volume. So once again, one of those things, like, you want to get it signed at cons, good luck to you. I'd like to get something like this signed just because there's so many cool creators in it, but they don't make backpacks this big. So thought that was cool. Then I wanted to highlight some cool Image hardcovers. So nothing too fancy or special here. You can actually go on Amazon and buy these now. So if you guys want to read, say, Invincible, I recommend these cool Ultimate collections. I think almost every single Invincible is collected in the Ultimate Collection version like this now. So they even like tabbed and like have unique sides. Like if you put them all together, it looks really cool on a shelf. I think I got this one signed by Ryan Otley as well. But what I like about these Invincible hardcovers, like, I don't know if you guys can see that too well, like where the pages are white, but this whole section that's red here, that's all like bonus content that they try to put in each one of the Ultimate collections. So usually with Image collections, like they jam it full with just cool extras at the ends of these. So that's why most of the time with Image, I like to just get a first couple issues, see if I really like the run, then I collect the rest for hardcovers because they kill it in the hardcover market for me. So you should have like concept art and stuff in the back. And like I think they even have con sketches and stuff that say like the creators of the book, like Ryan Otley, I think has some con sketches in here and stuff like that, and just more concepts. So, and then they'll put like scripts and stuff from the issues in. So I love these Image hardcovers, especially Invincible. So if you guys are looking to get an Invincible, and I think they have even like bigger, thicker hardcovers. Like there's like a hardcover run they have too that collects like Ultimate Collection 1 and 2. So that's my one kind of gripe about hardcovers is if you want to collect them all, you'll be double dipping a lot. So like there's like a bigger version of this that's like 1 and 2 combined. I don't know how the extras work in that, but usually if you get something, say, bigger than this, it kind of gets like, you can't just like lay it on your lap at that point. Like I love omnibuses or omnibuy, however you want to say it, but sometimes they're just too big. Like you got to put them on a freaking desk. And then with those older like DC bound omnibuses, they don't even stay open. So I didn't highlight those today, obviously. All right, let's see what we got going on in the chat. So TJ says, I actually had the pleasure of talking to him on the phone back in the 70s, answering original comics and buyer guide to buy original art. Perez is very nice. Oh, that's cool, man. That's awesome. You can just call up George Perez on the phone. That's awesome. Let's see. Remember to add those, TJ. All right, back to the hardcovers. So next Image hardcover we'll talk about is issue number 1, Omnivore edition. So like I said, they have, I think they're called the Smorgasbord editions, or the bigger versions of these. So they do the same thing for Chew. But why I like taking these, first off, they're not too heavy. They're pretty light. And if you have Rob Guillory going to a convention near you and you have these, take these with you. I can't emphasize that enough. Rob is always really nice enough. Like I've never even asked for these. He's done a head sketch in every one of my Chew hardcovers, and I have the whole run of 6. So I have like 6 Rob Guillory head sketches all for free. So Rob Guillory, he knows how to treat his fans. He's super cool. And actually, John Lehman signed this too, so forgot about that. But once again, if you guys have been paying attention to my channel, I absolutely love Chew. Phenomenal series. The art style, especially like right offhand, it's just a hilarious book. Guillory sneaks some awesome background. Like his backgrounds are just amazing, and his small details. And I mean, his art, maybe not for everybody, but I prefer it. It works extremely well in a book like Chew. And eventually they have this, like, it gets to a point where they do, they do funny very well, but they can also do serious tones very well in Chew as well. So it's pretty crazy, how they were able to get to that point about the 3rd Omnivore edition. So this is a really good read if you guys haven't read it. But the same thing applies to this. The whole back of the book is just filled with extras. Not as much as, say, Invincible, but you still get some cool extras in here, like concept art, scripts, and that type of stuff. So, like I said, image books are, hardcover is the way to go on Image books, in my opinion. Metarog says omnibuses are correct. So, thank you for that. Next up, I got an X-Men Messiah Complex. I believe this is the first hardcover I ever bought. I used to get trades when I was a kid if I saw them on the cheap. Wouldn't get too many. Obviously, I was all about getting the individual books. But this one, I was just like, once I started going to cons and stuff a lot, I was just like, it'd be cool just to have books like this that multiple creators worked on, and you get multiple signatures in and stuff like that. So in this one, for instance, I've got like several signatures right there. So I've got signed by Mark Silvestri, Craig Kyle, and Chris Yost. Dave Finch did the covers on it, so I got him to sign it. Billy Tan. And then Humberto Ramos. I don't even know if this comes into camera. For some reason, Humberto Ramos signed this in black right there. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but there is a Humberto Ramos signature in this book. So I guess he didn't have a silver Sharpie on him, so he just went ahead and signed it without saying anything. So I'm like, whatever. That's cool. But if you guys haven't read this is some good underrated X-Men, in my opinion. It kind of falls, in that line around, I think, the Whedon run. I think they were just coming off that. Like I said, sometimes my memory is really bad anymore when it comes to stuff like this. But this is around the Ed Brubaker time when he was on X-Men. And they actually got Mark Silvestri back to do a little bit of work on X-Men. But it was post House of M, where Scarlet Witch said, no more mutants. And we only had like, 120 some odd mutants. So there was no mutant reproduction, nothing going on with mutants. Then all of a sudden, mutant named Hope is born, and everybody's after Hope. So the X-Men know as soon as they detect Hope on Cerebro and they discover a birth, they have to get there and figure out what's going on, because everybody's gonna go crazy, and that's what happens. So you have like the church that hates mutants go after it, and then Mr. Sinister wants it to do his research, and you have X-Men on crazy different teams, like somehow Gambit's working with bad guys. You got all this crazy stuff with Bishop going on, and then all of a sudden, in the middle of everything, Cable drops in and basically steals Hope from everybody. So a lot of cool. This is pretty cool X-Men. It just shows how diverse the cast of characters and X-Men titles are. I mean, they throw almost like every X-Men character in here, and it's pretty cool. So I recommend that. And actually, a very underrated run came out of this book as well, in my opinion, called X Factor. If you guys haven't read that mid-2000s X Factor Peter David run, it's a really good run too. So that one follows Jamie Madrox, the multiple man. And he actually has Layla Miller on his team as well, who is a character that was very important in House of M, if I remember correctly. And he opens up a private investigation agency with a couple other mutants, like Wolfsbane's in there, Strong Guy's in there, I think Richter's in there. So this book made me want to read that run the most of all things. So really cool X-Men run there. Let's see. Oh, it looks like Comic Bags 22 has joined us. What's up, Comic Bags? How's it going, man? Joker M21 says, I would like to get Tim Sale to sign my Batman Long Halloween. Yeah, Tim Sale's cool, man. I actually have, I don't know if it, of course, it's like right here in the angle. Here, maybe I'll just show it real quick. Yeah, I got my Tim Sale print like right next to me up here. So sorry for the glare. My camera's connected. Cool. I'd like to make it to New York Comic Con one day, but it's like becoming the San Diego of the East. So it looks like there's a ton going on there and tickets selling out before you can even think about buying them. So yeah, that's on my bucket list of cons for sure. All right, I got 2 more to go. Then, like I said, maybe I'll show off the sketch cover a little bit and see what you guys think. Oh, it looks like Trinity Entertainment just hopped in. What's up, Jeremy? Next up, just in time for some Scott Snyder talk, Trinity. So I got this Swamp Thing hardcover. This is the Scott Snyder run, and Yannick Paquette did a lot of the pencils in this. So the reason I highlight this one too, so I wanted to get it signed by Yannick Paquette, and it was just kind of like meeting Rob Guillory. He actually did this cool Swamp Thing sketch in it for me. So didn't even say anything. You just kind of open it up, start sketching a little headshot there. So I love it when artists do this, obviously. So I got a few more in my collection actually, but yeah, this is how you take care of fans. Like that guy was so cool to talk to. Like he started actually like opening up and going through the hardcover and showing differences and like the splash page panels that were in this compared to the single issues. It was pretty cool just how much of the work actually can change from the production of an individual issue into the hardcover. Because I know like with Scott Snyder, like if you were like to sit down, like I have the Absolute Edition of the Court of Owls up there. Like I think Scott Snyder said like if you lay that down and go page by page in the Absolute Edition, and then with the individual issues, there's actually like different dialogue, or he cleans up some of the dialogue he just didn't like 100% the first time. So it looked like, at least on the DC side, I haven't heard too many stories on the Marvel side, but on the DC side, it looks like the actual like creators go back in and fix up a few things, or sometimes they might just fix 1 or 2 things they didn't like. So it's very interesting to see. Like I think he was talking about splash pages like this, where sometimes that extra gutter loss that occurs either in a big hardcover comic, sometimes they change that up a little bit. And then there's no ads in this either, obviously. So when it transitions from having ads to not having ads, they'll do some switch arounds as well in terms of panels and flow. So it's super interesting talking to Yannick Paquette about the differences between the Swamp Thing individual issues and the hardcover. So I definitely wanted to highlight this one just because Yannick Paquette was a super cool dude when I met him, when we were talking about this and everything. So, and it's a good run too. I believe that toward the end of this is the one that also crosses into a really good Jeff Lemire Animal Man run. So toward the end of this, you get the Rot World crossover between, and it's written by Scott Snyder and Jeff Lemire. So if you guys hadn't checked that out, Rot World's pretty cool. It's all in this book too. So definitely recommend the Snyder Swamp Thing hardcover. It's really cool. All right. So it looks like Joker M21 says Mark Texeira always puts a quick head sketch. Oh, that's cool. That's good to know. I like Tex's work too. He's got some good stuff out there. Looks like Count Von Strange has joined us. What's up, Count? Thanks for coming in, man. Let's see. Last one I wanted to highlight are these IDW Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Ultimate Collections. Once again, like IDW can put together some good hardcovers as well. The one caveat when it comes to the IDW stuff, they don't have too many markdowns. They're not too cheap. So usually a lot of this type of stuff I'll get on Amazon and InStockTrades.com. Usually I can average about 40% off cover, maybe a little bit more, depending on, the time of year. Sometimes Black Friday, it'll be up to 50% off. But when it comes to IDW stuff, usually the best case scenario, I think you get like maybe 30 to 35% off. So I don't get a lot of IDW hardcovers because of that, because I can kind of be a cheapskate when it comes to some of these things. But nonetheless, I wanted to at least get one really cool hardcover version of the original Turtles run. And this one does not disappoint. It's a really, like I said, it's a huge book. And another reason I highlight this one is Kevin Eastman once again did a quick doodle for me. Oh, sorry about that glare, guys. I don't know what's going on with my camera today. It doesn't know how to enter. There it is. There we go. So Kevin Eastman did this cool doodle for me. And usually I know beggars can't be choosers, but I actually got my hardcover book. I was like, man, I've been a big Turtles fan my whole life. Can you do one for my book too? Actually, I will show that in a second. So, but yeah, this is like Kevin Eastman wasn't charging any type of anything at the time. So he was really cool too to deal with. But I just love the quality IDW puts into their content too. They put out, so as you guys can see, they got some, and they left it all in black and white too. They didn't try. I mean, I think there's color versions they've made out there, but this one they just wanted to get like a really nice format copy and a hardcover. So, and I absolutely love this first story. I actually didn't read the Turtles one until I bought this hardcover. So, I especially like if you watch the first, like the 89, 1990 Turtles. And then read this, like you see all the awesome comparisons. They basically plucked the best of this and threw it in the movie. So, like I said, that is a timeless movie too. So, absolutely love this first hardcover. Can't recommend it enough. I wish I could, if I had a ton more money to splurge, I would get like this whole run. I think I have the first 3 of these. They all have these cool wraparound covers too. But IDW has like these like silver label editions or something, like gold label editions, where the artist will actually draw like a full-blown thing inside the book. Those are hundreds of dollars though to start off with. So one day I'd like to get all those books and just get a huge collection of these. But like I said, they're not cheap. The cheapest you could usually get these for probably for about $30 to $40, somewhere in that range, which they're still worth that, but and then considering the cover's 50, but these are cool. But like I said, at 25 bucks, I'd probably buy them all. But yeah, that's the way hardcovers go. Let's check back with the chat real quick. Count says he wants Eastman's auto pretty bad. Yeah, like I said, I don't know if he's I've heard in some cases he started charging and some not. I think most of it, unfortunately, charges now. But it is what it is. He's the creator of Turtles, and a lot of other people charge for autographs, probably shouldn't. And someone his level, in that case, yeah, he probably should. Rebel Comics says he's got to run. Thanks, Rebel. I'll definitely, if you're live streaming, I'll definitely catch that, man. What's up, Prowler 671? Thanks for making it in. All right. So I'll just talk about the sketch. Like I said, I'll talk about this. I got to show it off as possible. So we'll go ahead and show the Eastman one. And it's just crazy how fast Eastman can draw that turtle at this point. Like I said, he may as well just have a stamp, just like, boom, there's your turtle. Like, he draws it so fast. There's a few artists like that out there. Like Phil Hester's one of those artists who you could just like ask for like a quick doodle of a head sketch, and then like you'll look to your left or right and he'll have it done. Just like, you did that already? So there's my Kevin Eastman sketch. He did like a little bit more of the smoky background to match the first Turtles. So there's like a bigger version of that. So I thought that was super cool. I'm just going to assume this is my boy Mikey. So this is my Michelangelo one. I think Donatello will be in the book. How about that? So I absolutely love that he did one of those. And actually, I do want to show one. And I want to tell a little bit of the story behind it. So here's another really awesome free Marvel booth doodle from Mike Perkins. So I think he did this one around the time The Stand was being brought out by Marvel, and the whole Stephen King stuff like Dark Tower and The Stand were being produced as comic books. So this is the Trash Can Man. This was his favorite character in the book. And I was telling him, how much I liked the show as a kid. Like, they had the 4-episode miniseries on ABC in the early 90s, and Trash Can Man was definitely, he was played by Matt Frewer, so he was one of the more interesting characters on the show. But the reason I want to bring up Mike Perkins is just, I guess, con etiquette in general. So originally, like maybe 2004, 2005, I wanted to get something by Mike Perkins, or I didn't even know who he was. Let's just put it that way. But I saw this guy was sketching at the Marvel booth, and their line was capped. I didn't know what line capping meant at that point. So I go up to this booth, and I just kind of I didn't have this book yet either. I think I had like a blank or something. I don't know. And he's just like, what can I do for you? I think he was trying to be nice, but I'm like, at the time I was just a jerk college student. I thought this guy's being an a-hole. And I'm just like, I want to sketch. And he's just like, well, we don't have time. Sorry. And he just seemed like he was having a bad day. So I was just like, whatever, man. said, no big deal. So I walk off. And for like 2 years, I was like, man, I just don't like that Mike Perkins guy. He seems just like a jerk. So Captain America started coming out. Ed Brubaker on. I like Steve Epting's working in. He took over. And I'm like, oh man, that guy Mike Perkins took over. I don't really like him. But the art was really good. I'm like, but I like his art. So it's one of those weird things, like you just kind of had a bad interaction with the creator at a convention. So a few years later, roll down the line, I have like, I should have even got that out, the Captain America Omnibus. And actually, you know what? Hold on 2 seconds. So I'll keep talking. Hopefully you can hear me. So I get the Captain America Omnibus, and he did work on that too. So I'm like, well, that's cool. Maybe he'll at least sign it for me and that stuff. I can be like, you know, hopefully he won't be a jerk this time. He was the nicest guy ever. So it just kind of goes to show, like, don't, you know, if someone's having a bad day, don't judge him by that day. Like, forever I was like, I don't like Mike Perkins for whatever reason. But after, like, I met him and we talked about this, he was super cool. Like, he's one of those guys. The reason I brought this out, he did a Captain America little sketch in my hardcover. So he saw, I was like, man, you lug this thing around. That's awesome, man. He's like, let me do it, Captain America. I'm like, I wasn't going to tell him no. So after we chatted, like, he's now one of my favorite artists that ever did Captain America. So, but the reason I bring this up, because he also did this for me, because I liked him so much from that. I'm like, hey, man, you did awesome on Captain America. You did a head sketch for me. And then we started talking about Trash Can Man. He's like, oh, man, I love Trash Can Man. He's like, I asked him about the ABC series. He's like, no, he hadn't watched it because he didn't want the visuals from that series to affect the images in his head. So that way he didn't want Trash Can Man to look like Matt Frewer, because he would have watched that show and it would have changed the image of Trash Can Man in his head. So I thought that was, you know, once again, really cool, you know, perspective talking to an artist and what goes through their head when drawing creators. But nonetheless, you know, if you go to the cons, you talk to these artists, because sometimes they're like, oh man, such and such was a jerk, and this and that. Like, it seems like sometimes I hear like Alex Ross is a jerk. Like, the time I met Alex Ross, he was really cool. Like, once you start talking about his work and stuff, he was awesome. So just a little story there about, you know, don't judge a person by one day, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So sorry, that was kind of a tangent, I guess, but let's go back to the chat. He's Count Von Stray says he'd pay for the Eastman SIG if I ever get a chance. I want to do a Casey Jones commission. Yeah, that'd be awesome, man. I'd love to get, you know, I figure if I meet him one more time, I wouldn't mind getting a Casey Jones, just like you said. So Joker says, sweet miking. Where are you looking forward to picking up New Comic Book Day tomorrow? You know what, Joker, I was actually thinking about picking up Fantastic Four and actually hitting the road and going to a bigger comic shop outside of my realm over here, because I know there's like 4,000 Fantastic Four #1 variants coming out tomorrow. So I wouldn't mind at least getting the Invisible Woman art germ. I know those are probably not going to be at my local shop because they tend to not be big fans of the whole variant scene, and they kind of just get in and throw in whatever they feel like. So if I went to my shop today, like, hey man, can you hold a Fantastic Four #1 for me? I would definitely get the 8 cover without a doubt. So if I'm going to pay $6 for a Marvel book, I wouldn't mind at least a variant of that. Let's see what does come out tomorrow. Like I said, man, 80 hours and 8 days is why I've been working, so I haven't had a chance to see everything that's came out. Looks like there's an Art Germ Catwoman cover coming out too. I might grab that. I like the Joelle Jones Catwoman #1 so far, so I might actually check out #2, even though Batman 50, oof, we won't talk about that anymore. Looks like, let's see what else comes out. What are you guys looking forward to tomorrow? I guess I should say that. Let me know what I should go to the shop and look for at this point. Looks like, so is David Mack doing C covers for all the Superman stuff? Because that looks awesome. I might actually have to check that out. Oh, Sandman Universe comes out tomorrow. So I will probably end up getting suckered into picking up Sandman Universe #1. I don't know what all they're going to do with that property now. Really love the 90s run. Neil Gaiman, obviously. So as you can see on Midtown, there's like 4,000 variants of that too. So I see David Mack's doing one. I'll probably just pick. I might pick that up. Or if I see I might pick up the Jill Thompson one if I see the Jill Thompson one too. I like her work on Sandman. Probably pass on the blank cover. I don't do a lot of blank covers just because I have the sketchbook So I do like to do some, just in case like I go to a con, give the sketchbook to one creator. I have a backup blank cover if I need to do it. Death or Glory comes out tomorrow. I'll probably try to actually read I haven't read number 3 yet. I'll try to read that. But Death or Glory's been a solid series. That comes out tomorrow. Farmhand number 2, I'll definitely be picking up. Issue 1 was amazing, so I'll pick that up for sure. Looks like Port of Earth comes out. Hopefully they have a second trade of that soon, because Poor Man's Comics got me hooked on that. Let's see. Marvel's offerings. Fantastic Four. Yep, Fantastic Four. More Fantastic Four. So yeah, I'll definitely be going and trying to get a Fantastic Four cool variant, if nothing else. Let's see. Count says I'd take sketch cards to cons. Cheap to have art on, easy to store when you get home. Yeah, that's not too bad of an idea, man. Especially like if you just have like a small carrier bag, basically. Yeah, sketch cards are the way to go. All right, so it looks like I'm kind of going on an hour here. Dang, sorry guys. So I'm going to slowly transition to wrapping up with plugs and stuff like that. Once again, Comic Corp, new link below. So click down there. Subscribe to the new Comic Corp channel. I believe that's where we're going live this Friday, 10 p.m. So please catch us there. See how fast we can help Chad rebuild. Hopefully Rich will be involved too. I'm not sure. Like I said, I'll probably call Chad sometime tonight just to see what they're thinking in terms of format and if there's anything's going to change at all on the new channel or anything like that. But hopefully both Bat Dudes will be involved in that. If not, I completely understand what the whole situation happened Friday. I would probably just walk away, to be honest. That was nuts. But anyway, looks like it's definitely going to live on. Hopefully we'll have a great show, undisturbed. So we'll definitely be having some sort of Comic Corp fun this Friday, one way or the other. No one's going to stop us, that's for sure. Also, my 200 subscriber contest still going on. I'll probably link that below later. It's in my channel feed. I just forgot to plug it in because I want to make sure I got my Comic Corp plug-in. But Naomi Comic is my only entrance so far. It goes on, I think, till September 23rd is what I said previously. So check that video out in my feed. Same day I posted this, I think I still got some comics for sale. If you guys want to check out that video, I've only sold one lot. So if you guys want to shoot some offers, feel free. Definitely won't be offended if there's a low ball off or anything. I'll just throw something out or say no. So throw some offers out there, see what happens. Like I said, I still got stacks and stacks and stacks of books I'd like to get rid of, just so I can clean up the collection a little bit. What else? Like I said, New York Warriors are auctioning this Friday. I'm sorry, this Saturday, 10 p.m. So catch the Core Friday, catch the Warrior Saturday. I believe the following Saturday, Legend's going to have his next auction. So like I said, an auction every week now. It's really awesome to be part of the community lately, is all I know. So if you guys want killer deals, all you got to do is be here on the weekend, or sometimes even Wednesday. So let's go over the chat. Thank you, everybody, for joining us one more time. So Joker says, dope show. So thank you so much, Joker M21. You're always showing that support, so I appreciate it. So at least I can do is plug your guys' show back. Prowler 671, HME3 Comics, thank you guys for making it. Count Von Strange, thank you. Rebel Comics, like I said, I'll definitely be subbing up LP's new channel. He's back in the Rebel Comics mode, so that's awesome. Glad to see that desire for comics for him still going on. That's awesome. He's got the old name back. Trinity Entertainment, thanks for making it, man. That's awesome. I still have some books to send you, man. We need to work that out sometime. Let me know if you need anything else, because I still got your AOK, I guess, piled up in this realm up here somewhere. So if there's anything else you're looking for, let me know, because I do have that half price. I'm going to Half Price Books this weekend. They're having their at least the outlet stores are having their tote bag sale. So $20 totes. You fill them up, you get everything inside that tote. So if you guys have an outlet near you, or like maybe a 1 hour drive from you, I highly recommend looking that up, checking them out, and seeing if you guys got it, because those $20 sales, like, they empty their store out. So I'm going to try to get there as soon as they open. Miss Hustle joined us. So Miss Hustle's actually been really cool. Like, she has an Instagram. Like, I just started an Instagram, by the way. I haven't posted one thing to it yet, so I apologize for that. But the community's been super cool with Instagram. Just I've already got all kinds of followers and stuff. I haven't even put up one picture, so thank you guys for that. But Miss Hustle actually has a really nice Instagram where she basically she's been plugging these big live shows for everybody. She's been plugging the Warriors, Legend, LP. So she's trying to be a beacon for the community. So that's really cool of you, Miss Hustle. Keep up the good work over there. Comic Bags 22, he's always in the chats. It's awesome, man. Metarug, like I said, check out their stuff on Bub's Comics channel, the No Faces channel. I call them the Hands team because when I played football, we used to have the Hands team, which is kind of like the special team you put in where they're trying to kick the field goal and need those hands to get up and block that field goal. So I like to call those guys the Hands team, whether they like it or not. But nonetheless, they have a very informative show about this time on Monday nights. That's usually him, DS Comics, and Bub's Comics. So check those guys out. They got a really awesome live show. Poor Man's Comics, I still owe him an AOK too. One day I'll send it to him, maybe. It might be a full year. It's because I know he likes to procrastinate on subscriber videos. I keep procrastinating on sending him his package. So there's that. Jake Dixon, he called me an egghead, but I still appreciate him for making it. Thank you, Jake Dixon. I might sub you up just because you called me an egghead. Let's see. Oh, man, I didn't even call it Wolf Blitz. Wolf Blitz joined us way back when. Sorry, man. Somehow the chat must have been hopping and I missed it. Wolf Blitz. Man, that guy knows how to bet on some auctions. So, Wolf Blitz, thanks for joining, man. Sorry I missed your name earlier. Airborne Sapper Comic Fan joined us. Thank you, Airborne Sapper Comic Fan. The big dog, Roman Curtis. Speaking of auction bidders, there's the big dog, Roman Curtis. That guy, I think he made like this big, like huge sale in the chat of the last Legends Life auction. I don't know if that deal between him and Contender went down. He sold a book for like $1,700 in a chat. So that's awesome, Roman Curtis. And then Comics with Bueller joined us early on. So thank you. Oh, speaking of, there's Contender right there, man. Yeah, like, man, all the guys who can win some auctions are coming out. So there's Contender. That guy, like I said, Contender, phenomenal books, man. Like, there you go. There's the fist for Contender, and I'm bowing to your awesome ability to collect cool slabs and, you know, flip them for insane prices. So he's got some good stuff. Oh, and Lord Tatman, what's up, Lord Tatman? How's it going? So yeah, Warriors always have great deals, says Trinity. Absolutely they do. Sorry. With that being said, like I said, 57 minutes. I'm dead tired from this last work week. I'm gonna read some comics the next 24 hours, guys. I don't know about you guys, but now I feel like I need to leave some dollar signs in there, but yeah, I'm not because I'm that tired. So I'll probably take another nap. Hopefully I wasn't too groggy this feed because I literally set an alarm to wake up to do this live show, to show these books. So my day has been so far. Man, I got more people now in here than I had 12. Oh, never mind. I kicked everybody out. It went from 12 to 8, and I got excited. But anyway, like, I got off work, went to the local shop, got my last week's pickups, came home, fell asleep, woke up to do the show. So we're going to read some stuff. I recommend you guys do too. That being said, 200 subscriber contest, Comic Core Fridays 10, auctions every Saturday. Subscribe everybody on the chat, and I will catch you guys later. Thanks so much.